I was talking fantasy football with my friends the other day.
Alan, Josh?
Well, look who's back. Where the hell have you been? At home, sitting in your asses?
Go away now, Josh.
Actually, my name is Alan.
You're a dorky white kid with a Cub Scout bandana on his head.
I'm still gonna get those bandanas at work sometime.
There you go. On.
Welcome back to Bent on Fantasy Football. I am your co-host, Alan Bentley.
And I am your other co-host, Josh Worley.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Glad to see you back here. First week of the NFL. So much stuff to talk about. So much stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
a lot of
good
surprises.
and bad. So
yeah, both. So we got some surprises as far as some stuff that we're doing this week. I guess Josh has set up WOMF this week, so
he has no idea what it is. So.
I have no idea. So let's get this.
Not like you have any idea what's going on anyway.
Well, that's not the point. I'm talking this week in particular.
Okay.
All right.
Do you remember who went first last week?
I don't know what's going on. So let's get right into it.
All right,
okay,
let's
shall
do
we?
it. Just do it.
All right, me first.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So my beer this week says 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and 0-1.
Oh, I wonder what that could be, Alan.
That is the 4 leagues that Josh and I are on. Josh and I share a league, as you guys know.
Yes.
That is the one of the league or one of the 1-0s.
We won by 1.16. So
Yeah,
here you go.
Yeah, high five.
All right.
So we're dominating so far. No, but we actually did pretty good though. We did pretty good. So,
we did.
What is your beer this week?
My beer. Oh, what are the numbers for? Who's 0-1?
Oh, all right, 0-1. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was
Yeah,
gonna let it
it's
go.
me. It's me.
He's
My
0-1.
team. My
But
team sucks.
This is a team effort here, though, Josh. So this is me and you being a team. So together we are 3-1.
Okay, so I can cry on your shoulder then.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
But yeah.
Ever since that one time we watched The Notebook, he won't let me ever do it again. So.
All right, moving on.
All right. So anyway, my beer says
What happened?
week 2 can't come quick enough, and week 1 just sucked for me, guys. I had Fields who didn't do anything. Chase, I can't believe what happened with that Cincinnati offense.
We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Yes, Dobbins went down. Lockett didn't do much. My highest scoring player was on my bench, Algier. So
rough week.
rough week. So yeah.
Right. Well, it's only week 1. So
I only lost by about 30. So
it's only week 1.
it's only week 1.
So let's get these beers
All
open. All right. So guys, do what you do every week. Sit back, pop open a cold one, and enjoy the show.
That week 2 is looking really, really good. So
Yes.
I do want to bring up one thing. We talked about last week on the show. One of our new viewers, Hannah, said she was interested in a shirt with our faces on it.
Ooh.
Now, why the hell you would ever want that?
I don't really think that's the point here. I think that somebody is that interested in our show.
I don't think that's the point. So, but Hannah, she did reach out to me and we were talking, and she and her boyfriend actually, they took a week off vacation. They did a football trip this week, and I am so effing jealous.
I'm a little envious myself, I gotta admit.
So they started Friday. They drove into Cleveland, hung out, and then went to the Cincinnati Bengals Cleveland game, which I thought would have been a shootout, which would have been an amazing game. Now, Cincinnati let us down. But Sunday, they got up Monday morning early, drove out to New Jersey, not New York, because that's where the New York teams play.
Drove there.
Drove there, and we're there for the Monday night game. So, Hannah and Ethan, I'm jealous. So
Me too.
hats off to you guys for that. So
Absolutely, I salute you. Absolutely, that's awesome. That would be great. That would be.
Wouldn't that be amazing to do?
Yes.
yeah,
All right. So we do want to mention to you guys though to like, subscribe, and share. Man, we want you guys to help share and get people like Hannah to watch us, and have them share in the whole 9 yards. We just want to get out there and entertain some people, and have a little bit of fun along the way with
Yeah.
it. So. please do that. Please like, subscribe, and share. And also, something that we haven't been keeping up on is our Bent on Fantasy Football Facebook page.
Yes.
We're gonna change that. We might even wind up doing a live on there one of these times. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
That would we might be able to work that out. I know people in this company. I know people. So I know you know me. That's
Yes.
pretty much it. But
And that's all we know,
That's
okay?
pretty much.
Obviously, based on our records.
But no. We want you guys to check it out. We're gonna get back into that. We haven't been keeping up with it, like I said before. But we are gonna make a concerted effort to do that, aren't you, Josh?
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right, perfect. So yeah, definitely check it out. And again, like, subscribe, and share for us if you would. We want to get to that 1,000 users so we can do it live right here on YouTube.
Yes, I may need to use your Facebook, though, to log in, because ever since that PO against James Robinson on Facebook, I don't know if I'm allowed back on there, so...
Wow, okay, awesome. High five.
Yes. Just kidding, by the way.
Zuck you, Markerberg. Zuck you, Markerberg. And whatever.
Yes.
No,
We
that's
can
great.
say shit here, but we can't say the other words. So.
Right. Which one is it? Never mind. Forget.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. So let's talk about week 1 surprises.
Okay.
There was some big ones this week.
Some good ones and some bad ones, man.
Some bad. Let's start with the really bad stuff. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers went down this week. J.K. Dobbins went down this week. Both out for the season.
Yes.
Huge blow to both of those.
Both
teams.
Achilles, too, man. So
Isn't that weird?
does that tell you anything about maybe the field conditions? Or
I got to give you credit though, Josh. You made the call. You said somebody big's going down this week.
And I did
And-
before the games, because we get together on Sundays and watch them. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said, you really think so? I said, yes. And my Dobbins, of course. The first big injury of the season.
Yep, and then followed by that Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Couple other things to note too. Austin Eckler injured, but not serious at this point.
He's
It's
day-to-day right now.
He's day-to-day.
If he's out for a long period of time, Joshua Kelly, man, could be a huge pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. I have actually been looking at him today. This being Tuesday, I was looking at him to pick up on a couple leagues. I've got Eckler in 2 of my leagues.
Yeah.
And I stayed away from it. You know why? I remember back season before last, I think it was. Eckler's running down the sidelines. He gets hit, and it looked to me like his knee went the wrong way. And
He was back in that game, wasn't he?
he was back in that game and finished out the season.
After a couple
too.
plays, actually. I remember that. So
He is a tough dude. So
He is.
If anybody's gonna fight through that, it's gonna be him. Speaking of tough dudes, we talked about this before. Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, but I do give credit where credit is due. And Aaron Rodgers,
Yes.
when you pull or tear an Achilles tendon, that's got to be painful. I've never done it myself, but it's got to be painful as all get out.
Yeah.
So the way he went down and took that, I got to say, kind of impressive.
Yes. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer. I mean, neither one of us liked the guy. But neither one of us also would have said, hey, let's hope Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, and goes out for the season. So,
Yeah, maybe for the game, but not the season.
yeah.
All right, no.
I say this every week, and it never... I hate you, but anyway.
All right, fair enough. All right, Dallas and the Giants, 40-0. So from a fantasy perspective, this is all we're going to talk about this game because that's all there was, a fantasy perspective from it. Dallas, the defense gave up 0 points.
Yeah.
They scored, I think
They scored close to 40 points.
Yeah, it was at least 2 touchdowns. I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but it was at least 2 touchdowns. I don't know how many sacks, fumbles. I mean, it was just all the Dallas defense in this game as far as
Yeah. No, I don't know about you, but I was a little higher on Barkley going into the season than you, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line, oh my God. Micah Parsons just blew through that like Swiss cheese. That's bad news for Saquon Barkley going forward.
That's one of the reasons I looked at that and didn't like Barkley before the draft started.
Yeah, that offensive line is just...
It's
I knew it wasn't going to be the best, but...
Another reason I don't like Daniel Jones. I'll give Daniel Jones credit, though, for having, other than Barkley, not having a ton of talent right in front of him, offensive line-wise.
Yeah.
He actually does fairly well for not having that much talent. he could be a better quarterback. I don't like the guy as a quarterback. No offense. If you ever want to be on the show, you're still welcome to come on the show.
And I touted him for a couple of years in a row, and
yeah, I'm just
I'm eating my words.
The Giants are a bust to me this season.
Yeah.
Across the board. So
I think Waller and Barkley, I mean, besides those two, there's really nobody fantasy relevant on that team.
let's go back to the Thursday night game.
Okay.
Detroit and Kansas City. Detroit 21, Kansas City 20.
Yes.
Who would have seen that coming?
I mean, we both talked up Detroit. We know they have a great offense. But that defense really shut down Mahomes.
My gosh. I mean, when you hold Kansas City to 20 points, that's...
Well, they had something like double-digit 3-and-outs.
Mhm.
I would have never guessed that with that prolific offense. Even with Kelsey out, I mean, they were definitely projected to win that game, clearly.
You know what Kansas City's problem was in this game? They had two major problems. The first problem was Travis Kelce was out.
And the receivers couldn't catch the ball, or...
Well, that too. Okay, so three major problems. That's still not. I think the biggest thing was, you know who they got play calling for him now, Matt Nagy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not going to be an I told you so person at this point because it's still early in the season, but I was not as high on Mahomes as everybody else was. And that's one of the reasons
Because of Matt Nagy?
I've seen his play calling in Chicago. Remember?
Oh, it's atrocious.
I don't know if you remember. He actually stopped calling plays, gave that over. You know, this big thing that the head coach is giving over the play calling to the offensive coordinator. Blah blah blah.
And they didn't really do much better, but hey.
Right, but nonetheless, it was Nagy making the calls, making the play calling.
And that's just one of the dumbest moves in the history of the NFL. You give up Eric Bieniemy, you fire Eric Bieniemy, let him go.
And pick up Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy, come on, dude. It's like trading Jamar Chase for Antonio Brown.
It's a serious downgrade. Now, that being said, that's not the only reason I was not as big on Mahomes this season. The other thing too is look at the talent around him. So in that game, Tony had a terrible game. Drop passes.
Sky Moore was almost irrelevant in that game.
Sky Moore, a couple drop passes as well.
Justin Watson and Justin Ross.
Oh, it was.
They got more targets. I mean, come on, guys.
Across the board, it was absolutely horrible. Without Kelce there, they don't have a primary focus on that offense.
They don't, and that really allows defenses to key. And they don't have a superstar running back. They have a three-headed monster, but neither one of those three guys really scares defenses.
No. Now, the interesting thing, too, is you look at that, you put Kelce into the mix on that, and now you've got one target. Okay, so the way it is now, they could afford double coverage on Kelce.
Yeah.
A tight end, and still have plenty of coverage. If the wide receivers are not going to catch the ball, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how open you are.
Not at all.
Marquise Brown, come on.
Right. Anyway, let's move on. So this was a big one for this not only hurt I'm sure odds makers, but it also hurt my pride really bad. Cleveland 24, Cincinnati 3.
That game, we watched that, and I mean it was hard to watch, okay, but we toughed through it. We should get some kind of award for that, for heroism. But
physically painful.
Yeah.
Physically painful. That hurts my pride though, because if you remember back to last week's show, who did I call to go to the Super Bowl?
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And you also picked Burrow as the offensive MVP in week 1.
Right.
So
yeah, ouch and ouch. But
yeah, or no, that was probably week 3. Who knows what week we're even on anymore, guys?
It doesn't really matter. Whatever.
We don't like the preseason, okay? We've never been big fans of it, but I think Burrow didn't play in the preseason, and I think he was really, really rusty. So maybe that'll bring up a point that, hey, you really got to get your guys involved, whether it be 2 drives or, 1 drive, 6 plays. You put them on a pitch count,
I really, I can't stress this enough. This is week 1 of the NFL season. So many things change between week 1 and week 6, between week 6 and week 14. I mean, there's so much that goes on. So many teams change and gel and different things come together. Cincinnati's got all the pieces to the puzzle there.
They do. They have weapons galore.
And their defense is not horrible. So, that being said, there's a lot of fantasy points to be had in Cincinnati. It's just a matter of time for them to get together. That's all.
And they have probably the best 1, 2, 3 receiver receiving core in the NFL. Now, we both agree probably Hill and Waddle, you'd say, is probably better than Chase and Higgins, but that's a 1-2. Besides those two guys, they don't really have anybody, but 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Cincinnati by far.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you had Tyler Boyd into the mix, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you got an awesome any one of those guys could be a number one receiver someplace else.
And if you look at that, and if you look just through the stats, look through the play calls or through the play-by-play, Burrow did go deep to Higgins about 3 to 4 times and was completely inaccurate. Didn't even come close. So
yeah, that's what you're talking about, knocking the rust off. That's all part of that, I think. I hope, because otherwise they're really gonna let me down.
yeah,
But yeah, let's jump on though, because I know the Womp is going to take a little bit of time tonight, so
Yep.
I don't want to run this too far. But let's talk about the Jets and Buffalo. What a game!
What a game! I mean, if you were told me that Aaron Rodgers went down 4 plays into the game,
Yeah,
and Zach Wilson is your quarterback,
and leads them to a comeback win.
stood a chance against the Buffalo offense, no way.
Yeah, not at all. And on the other side of the ball, the greatest named football player of all time,
Josh Allen, yes.
3 picks and 1 fumble.
He almost had 4 picks.
4 turnovers though, officially on the night. Crazy.
He scored what, like 7 or 8 points or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I'm gonna say this. As far as the draft goes, at least as of week 1, again, early season,
Yeah.
as of week 1, I'm glad somebody else got to him before I did. And the same thing with Burrow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. Time will tell. Somebody else got to 2
Of course, I have Fields, which I was high on, and I'm not feeling too good about that. So
Yeah. Let's touch on, because I know we want to get moving on. 2 things I still want to talk about before we
Okay.
get to WAP. Okay. Number 1, let's talk about Zeke. So Zeke did not have a good day. Okay, not by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that he's out there and they got him involved early enough in the game. I think he was in on the first possession at some point.
yeah,
The fact that they got him involved in the game tells me that, number 1, he probably hasn't picked up the playbook well enough to be effective yet.
Mhm.
But number 2, that they plan on keeping him involved in the game. So if you have
Yeah.
him stashed, if you're one of the people like me that got him late round or last pick in my case,
true.
if you have that have him on your roster, hang on to him, because he may be valuable when you need him to be. I'm not going to say he's going to be like he was back in Dallas, but he could be a good.
Well, he could be, but the only thing that scares me is Belichick. I mean, running back. I mean, it's a dart throw what Belichick plans to do every week with running backs.
That's because Belichick is a quarterback head coach,
Yeah,
and he's not a running back.
you've seen how far that's got in the last couple of years. So
Yeah. After you lose Tom Brady and that doesn't work anymore, you got to figure something else out.
absolutely.
Being as smart as he is, you'd think he'd figure that out by now, but
Yeah.
here's where we are. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? You know what? I don't remember now.
Oh, what's Gub? What's got a spin?
Yes, that's right. That's what it was. Gub. All right. What is Gub?
What's
For you.
got us bent? So something in the world of sports doesn't have to be necessarily NFL.
Or it could be what's got you bent.
Okay, that's like a teenager texting, like got you bent.
Yeah.
I'll go first though. Mine's quick. I'm only gonna say 2 words. You guys can look it up after this to see what the situation is. But Mel Tucker. That's all I gotta say. Alan has no idea what that is, but I'm sure he's gonna look it up after this show.
Are you talking about Mel Tucker? No, never mind.
Yes,
That might be him. Okay, Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker.
All right, I have no idea what you're talking about. So.
All right, you will.
Yeah, okay, maybe. But anyway, no. So, all right. That being said, what's Gub for me
Mm-hmm.
is the Chicago Bears. That's right.
God.
You knew it.
God,
We
yeah.
all knew it. So, man, where do I start? When the game started, I'll say this: when the game started, I told you, I said secondary is going to kill us. It's going to kill us, guaranteed. And what happened? They started hitting the middle of the field,
Yeah.
and with
We were
ease,
excited. We had our beers. We had some wings. Oh man, they were so good. But
they were.
God, that was the best part of that Sunday watching the Bears game was the wings. Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, it was bad. It was so bad. Defensively horrible.
Yeah.
Offensively, horrible. Like I told you before we started recording, DJ Moore. Okay, preseason he gets a little screen on the flat and goes 65 yards or whatever it was for a touchdown. This game he gets 2 catches. And then I think they were both in the third quarter too. So other than that, he wasn't used at all, other than a decoy.
Yeah, I don't understand the game plan.
I don't get it either. You got to get that man the ball. You've got to get that ball in his hands. So he's your playmaker right now. Until somebody else steps up and proves that they're the playmaker, it's going to be DJ Moore or Justin Fields. One of those guys have got to take the reins, man. So that being said, why don't they just do the same thing? Throw it on the flat to him, let him run, see what happens. It can't be any worse than not throwing to him. I'll say that. It can't be any worse than any other, incomplete pass or not throwing to him or anything else. So,
I agree. And the offseason comments about how vastly improved this offensive line was, either Green Bay's defensive line is just that amazing that they could get that much pressure on Justin Fields, or the talk of the Bears offensive line just isn't what it is. He was under pressure a lot of that game. We talked about it earlier, and I think we talked about it after Sunday and maybe Monday even. 3 passes. You throw 37 times in that Bears offense. Justin Fields had 37 attempts. 3 of them, 20 or more yards. Neither one of those 3. One was a pick. The other 2 were incomplete. I mean, you if you're getting shut down by that defensive line, obviously you can't run. And this little dink and doink when you're down 3 touchdowns is not going to do much for you.
You got to open up that defense. You got to spread it out. You got to make sure that they are aware that you can go deep and you're willing to go deep.
Yeah, and that's what scares me. In college, Justin Fields was as accurate as anyone else with that deep ball. I don't know if it's the NFL offenses, the speed, or the NFL defenses, the speed of them that are catching up, but I'm not panicking yet, but I need to see some improvement, and I'm sure you do too.
I'll say this: if I don't see some improvement when they play Tampa Bay, it's going to be a long, long season for the Bears.
It is.
And I'll tell you this: that means if the Bears are still decent, that means Green Bay's really good, and I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Not for a minute. So, I believe Detroit's probably got the division wrapped up at this point.
After week 1, Minnesota looked like crap.
Yeah,
so
it was absolutely horrible. But anyway, did get some good fantasy points out of Jefferson and
yes,
and what's his face, the other guy that throws it to him,
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's get to WOMP.
We're gonna get to WOMP now. For those of you that are just joining us, what does WOMP stand for, Alan?
Wheel of Misfortune.
And
dun,
Miss,
dun, dun.
yes, Miss is MISS. She's
Miss.
one of our collaborators on
Not
the show.
Mrs. She's not married. It's Misfortune.
Oh, she's not?
She's still single.
Oh,
That's right.
man.
That's right.
All right, I gotta go, dude. So.
No.
No, but anyway.
She's not here.
We're going to do a little something different this week. Alan doesn't know what I wrote on here. Usually what we do with WOMP is we spin and we each pick either a game line, like a spread or an over-under, or we make a prediction on the player. Now, I put a bunch of categories on here. Some are questions, like biggest disappointment. You know what? I'm not even going to say anymore. Shut up. We're just gonna start it off. So
That was easy.
that was easy. Yes, I accidentally hit it. But Alan, I'm gonna let you go first, and we'll see what your first topic is.
So here, how's this? How about if I don't even spin it? How about I just take the one that's on right now?
Just no, spin it. It's not fun if you don't spin it.
Oh, now it's so much more fun.
Yes, it's so much more
Look,
fun.
it landed on the same damn one.
Okay, you stop though before you do that. We have a real fat. We need to get like a fine dry erase marker because I had to abbreviate a lot of these. So what you see is you're gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Oh boy.
All right, so and I'll explain to you.
All right, I don't know if they can read that or not, but I'm gonna read it. Most questionable running back. Okay, what is that?
Most questionable running backfield.
Most questionable running back or backfield?
After week 1.
Oh, there's so many.
Well, you got to pick one.
49ers. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Definitely not the Jets. That would have been one of my
God,
guesses.
Brees Hall looked amazing, didn't he, against that stout Buffalo D?
He did. I'm gonna go with New England.
Yeah, I
was not big on Ramondre before the draft,
was,
and
and luckily I did not get him.
I'm not big on Zeke. Again, I don't recommend you drop him if you have him. Just store him away for a while until you actually need him. But
Yeah.
I think that New England backfield.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Well, I don't agree, but it's not my topic, so
You get it, huh?
I get it.
All right,
yes.
so are you spinning too? Or?
I'm spinning. Yes, we both are.
But you know how to answer these then if you made them up. All right, go ahead.
Shut up.
No, just go ahead. At least I thought,
Worst team so far. Okay, after week 1. This actually, this brings me joy to say this. Washington Guardians, or Commanders. I thought my Arizona Cardinals were the worst team in football, and I owned it. So week 1, in the draft, I picked up Washington's defense for the sole reason to play against the Cardinals.
Bears.
And that Washington D just was horrible. Arizona shredded them, even though they lost that game. So I
Bears.
think... Oh, shut up. The Bears aren't even in the same league as Arizona and Washington. I think the Washington Commanders right now could be the worst team, even though they beat the Cardinals. But
Well, actually, I guess then, if they beat the Cardinals by default.
Alan, stop it.
All right, fine. I'll spin. Can I spin?
That's my opinion, okay? I opined on this.
Okay, is it my turn to spin?
It is.
All right, let's spin.
And I'm here to translate if you can't,
Oh, thank goodness.
if you don't know what any of these
I
mean.
don't know
So
English very well, so. Atlanta running back situation.
what do you think about the Atlanta running back situation?
Wow.
Now, Bijan was pretty much crowned the next coming of Saquon Barkley prior to the season. Algier outrushed him and outscored him. 2 touchdowns.
I understand that, but I think that's a game flow thing. I don't think I think Bijan still owns that backfield when it comes down to it.
And I won't say you're wrong.
He's got to rip off a couple big ones, or he's got to just make the big play. He's one big play away from owning that backfield. I'll say that.
Yeah. I agree. Although I have Algier, so I hope it's more of a split.
But I'll tell you this much: if he doesn't make that big play and he doesn't own that backfield, Algier's not a bad option.
Algier is as efficient as anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, good job on that one. I like that. I like that answer. So,
Okay, go ahead.
all right, we got green.
Oh,
it's not orange.
Boing.
All right, so let's biggest disappointment. It says big dis, D-I-S. But biggest disappointment this week. Oh man. To me, it's got to be that Cincinnati Bengals offense. I mean, big things were expected against with Joe Burrow and with Jamar Chase, who I had, and God, I mean, Deshaun Watson outscored both of them combined. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
In an offense that prolific, it just, and then again, yes, we talked about it. Does go back to Burrow being rusty, but still, guys, that was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm, it was. I agree. That'd be my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
Too. Although the Bears are right up there, I'm just saying.
Although I will tell you this though, I don't remember opening week of NFL in God as long as I can remember where as many teams didn't look like they were even prepared to play.
Yeah,
This was a weird week 1.
I'll say this though, we did say a couple seasons ago, I believe it was our first season together on this show, that.
Aw, that's cute.
Moving on. Anyway, I believe Derp. I do believe that we said at that point that it was the same kind of situation. Because whenever they reduced the number of preseason games, is when we noticed that difference.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that you say that, because I was just thinking about that the other day, and we didn't talk about that beforehand, but it was the same situation. The less preseason games they have, which I don't necessarily understand. because half the time they're not on the starters are not on the field anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't really understand why it would make that much of a difference when it comes to the players. But
And disclaimer, we both still hate preseason games.
Yes.
Maybe inter-squad scrimmages, things like that would be just as effective
yeah.
development-wise.
Yeah, eventually what's going to happen is people are going to get tired of preseason games and they're going to stop going to the games. And either they're going to get rid of the preseason games altogether, or otherwise you're going to start seeing some kind of a difference with starting lineups in preseason games, which I don't like. So I think they should go just like baseball. I mean, they have spring training in baseball. They have they have summer camp. They have mini camp. They have the whole 9 yards. I mean, they go through the whole process. So why not just jump into the season? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's gonna So now the comments are gonna start coming at the bottom saying, "Oh, you know what? People get hurt, players get hurt, blah blah blah." I really don't care because it is what it is. I mean, either you're an athlete or you're not. Either
I
you're
agree.
tough or you're not, man.
Yes. And neither one of us are tough. So.
That's right. I kind of feel tough sometimes. Like when I say stuff like tough. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
So who went? Was that me, Big Disc?
That was you.
Big Disc, all right.
All right, so I wish I'd have got that one. Oh, look at that. Oh, you know what this one is, don't you?
No, I don't. But I got a funny story about Orange.
Player to Rico.
Okay, if you could pick one player from week one that, who is the most likely player from week one that had a bad fantasy week? Who's the most likely player to recover from that and have a great fantasy season?
Definitely not Aaron Rodgers or J.K. Dobbins.
No, come on, no shit.
Let's see.
He's rubbing salt in the wound over
Let's
here.
see. Wow. Man, I would like to go Burrow, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Just trying to think of who else it would have.
There was really a lot of disappointing fantasy opening weeks for star players.
Just trying to think of who would be the most likely to recover right away.
Well, we're talking season-wide, though, so...
I understand that, but the sooner the better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this is fantasy. Every week counts, Josh.
It does. It does.
I'm going to say Kansas City in general. I'm not going to say a single... What? You want me to say a single player?
Player.
All right, Mahomes.
Okay.
I'll say he's gonna rebound.
He did not look good.
He did not.
So, Fields outscored him.
You know what? Can I change my answer? Josh Allen. I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Okay, Josh Allen. There you go.
Because I think he was even a bigger disappointment.
Oh, God, he looked horrible.
Yeah. Terrible. Anyway, go
All
ahead.
right, my turn.
Spin it. Womp it.
Ooh, pink. Pinky in the Brain. Remember that
What was
show?
your funny story about Orange?
I'll tell you in a sec. Okay, so I'll tell the orange story. So there's a local pool that my mom used to take my brother and I to when we were little kids, and they had 3 diving boards, two small ones, and then a real high dive. And one day when we were there was this kid in orange shorts, and he was doing these like 2.5 gainers off the low diving board, and every time he'd come up, I was probably 7, Jordan was probably 5. But we'd say, "Ooh, Mom, here comes the orange kid. Here comes the orange kid." And he would do these fantastic dives, like triple twists and all this stuff. So there's my funny story for the orange, okay? Guess you had to be there, Ellen.
No, it was quite hilarious. I was laughing on the inside.
Ooh, okay. Biggest surprise after week 1. It says, what does that say?
Big Serp.
Big Serp. So the biggest surprise after week 1
Is the orange kid.
is not the orange kid, because I don't know where he is, right now. He could be in prison. No, never mind. But
moving on.
yeah, but anyway, biggest surprise after week 1. I want to say that Minnesota Vikings lack of offense, because I thought they would just steamroll Tampa Bay. Besides Jefferson, Hawkinson didn't really get a whole lot of work. Kirk Cousins threw for a lot of yards, but that offense just didn't look in sync at all.
Well, even with Jefferson, if you look at that, or Kirk Cousins.
He only had 2 catches in the second half.
Right. Well, that and, he had 150 yards receiving, but no touchdowns.
Right.
That kind of hurts too. Although that could be good though, because that means he's saving them up for the rest of the season, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that. Anyway, so that kind of concerns me. Who knows? I mean,
Oh, you know what?
Another good candidate. Go ahead.
I'm going to change my answer just like you did. Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah.
Close to 15 targets.
Wow.
God, that guy, he looked amazing. Like he was in his 2021 early season form.
Yeah.
Remember, the guy hasn't played he played 5 games in 2021. He hasn't played in almost 2 years.
Right.
New offense. I mean, condition-wise, who knew what kind of physical conditioning he went through and what kind of he lacked? But God, he looked amazing, man.
Yeah. He definitely looked sharp.
And God, he outshined Kirk. We both love Kirk, but
Yeah.
God, he's Lawrence's go-to guy. It appears. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because that's going to pan out to be a pretty talented offense.
Oh God,
When it's
all
all
those
said and
weapons. And what did I say last week? Jacksonville offense. What did I say last week?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Tank.
Oh, Tank. Yeah.
I said Tank Bigsby could even score this week. And he did.
did.
So cheers to this, brother. Yeah, that
I'll give
offense
you
has
that.
so many damn weapons.
Yeah, it is crazy. Again, it's one of those things. They just got to gel, man. Everybody, all the pieces are in place. They just got to gel.
Yeah.
That's it. And they'll be
So
tough.
we both did 3. I think we'll leave it at that. The other ones are kind of different. We'll look at see what the other categories are.
All right. So here's one.
Let's do a quick answer on each one. How's that?
All right. Most WTH game.
Yeah, the game that made you really say what the hell.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Gotcha. Geez. I'm gonna go with Dallas and the Giants.
Same thing.
That's crazy. All
Yeah.
right, let's go on to the next one. Any reg? Question mark.
Any regrets?
Oh.
From your
Any
fantasy
regrets?
picks or ragrets, like the kid on that movie. But anyway, any regrets? My regret is picking Dobbins so early as I did because I was super high on that Baltimore offense this year, especially Dobbins. And God, that really bit me. They really came back to bite me.
Wow, regrets. At this point, I don't have any at this point. Other than, okay, I do have one. I take that back. I had an opportunity to get Tua on one of my leagues as a backup quarterback, and I passed it up, and I got Prescott instead.
Yeah.
So there's my one regret. But
You know, he outthrew Burrow almost 3-1 in yardage.
I could have outthrown Burrow 3-1.
Yeah, you probably
Jeez.
could have. So, all right, what are the other 2 we
All
got
right.
real quick?
All right. Is
I'm going to have to translate, I'm sure.
I'm sure is Puka?
Is Puka for real?
Who the hell is
In
Puka?
St. Louis. Puka Nakua had double-digit targets, led the
Did you grab
Ram.
me?
I did, yes.
Okay. Well, all right. So as long as we're out there.
Yes.
All right. Moving on.
Is Puka Nakua real? For real? Stafford is comfortable with him. Puka really shined at the Senior Bowl last year. I know Alan doesn't watch those kind of things, but the hype has been around Puka, and they didn't waste a high pick on him. But double-digit targets, led the Rams in receiving. He is quick as hell. He can separate, good route running. If Kupp misses an extended period of time, Puka could be the wide receiver 1 on that team.
All right. Cup's gonna miss the first 4 weeks. We know that.
Minimum.
Yep. So Puka, Rams offense. Enough said. I'm out.
Okay.
For these reasons, I'm out.
Oh, my God. All right, Cuban. At least you're not Mr. Wonderful. I hate that guy.
Buy low Gibbs? Question mark.
Would you buy low on Gibbs right now? David Montgomery actually out-carried Gibbs. I know there's some fantasy owners that are panicking at this moment on Gibbs. I'm not one of them. I would buy low on Gibbs in a heartbeat. I think Gibbs, it's his job. It will be his job, even though I like Montgomery better. But, I mean, Gibbs is the talent that they brought in. They didn't waste a number 12 pick on somebody to sit a couple years. You just don't do that with a running back. What do you think?
Yeah. I think you're wrong.
You think I'm wrong?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I totally disagree. I think Gibbs is done. I think
Is done?
Yeah, he's like gonna retire tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. One thing we forgot to mention, Mike Williams passed away, the former receiver, the NFL receiver. So our prayers and thoughts go out to his family and friends and loved ones, and
Yeah, very, very, very sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Anyway, what else you got?
I don't have anything else, man.
You don't?
No, it's almost past my bedtime, Alan.
Almost. It's like 20 minutes past your bedtime.
What time is it? Like 8 something?
Yeah, probably.
Whatever.
Anyway. All right. So we do want to remind you guys one more time to like, subscribe, and share if you would. And again, check out our Facebook page. We're going to start posting on that again.
And we did get one new subscriber this week.
Yeah,
So
thank you. One a week for the next, I don't
15,
know.
20 years will get us to a live show.
Yeah, it'll get us to our 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? We already have like 60, so it's like maybe like 49 years.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So anyway, please do that. We math geniuses here. So please do that. Please like, subscribe, share, and again, check out our Facebook page. And until we see you next week, get bent
On fantasy football.